sure you are not sick and make sure this disease is curtailed. The president,
The president's refusal, to address the nation is a matter of style.
it's a wrong style.
Hold on, please.
Hold
There
on,
is
please.
no
Hold on,
right
hold on.
or wrong style.
Go on, sir.
Gentlemen, hold on, please.
Something this
Gentlemen,
man
hold on.
spoke.
Gentlemen,
Hold on.
hold
He's
on.
not the
prophet,
Hold on,
he's not the
hold on,
president.
Agitator.
Gentlemen, hold on, please.
Yeah.
Hold on, please. Gentlemen, hold on. Now, it is a matter of style. Now, there are those who have said, especially the supporters of this government, the supporters of this president, have said, what more do you want from him? That he, as a president, as his Minister of Health in charge of all of this, and, the minister briefs the nation. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the same president has ordered that 10 billion naira be given to Lagos State to fight COVID-19 and 5 billion naira to NCDC. That, even if you don't hear from him, he has taken some steps to save the nation from this pandemic. So, according to Federal Nation, it is a matter of style.
Let me answer that question.
Before you
Excuse
answer,
me.
I
Let me.
want to ask you one more question.
Don't. You will ask me.
Hold on, please.
You will ask me that question.
Hold on, gentlemen. Please. Hold on, gentlemen. Dr. Matosha.
Now, that style is wrong. The same president went around this country, campaigned for all of us. That time, he has PRO. He has the publicity secretary of the party. He has the secretary to the party. He has all those people. Why didn't he tell those people to go and talk to us? Look, if we didn't listen to him, if he did not talk to us directly during the campaign, nobody will vote for that party. It's because he came and talked to us. At this material time, when things are down, we need the encouragement of Mr. President. Nigerians need him to assure us. Nigerians need him to tell us what is happening. Nigerians need him to tell us that, look, in these terrible times, your leader is in charge and is fighting for you day and night. Now, keeping mute now is what is giving room for all these rumors. That somebody said they saw him in Dubai, they saw the presidential jet this, they saw the chief of staff, he has been whisked to Wellington, which is one of the best hospitals in England. No, these are rumors. If the president just appear and talk to us, they say he's negative. I thank God for his life. Since he's negative, he's not sick, he should come and talk to us. Very simple.
Okay. Let me say this. Our problem as a people is that we delegate responsibility. Femi Adesina is the spokesperson of the presidency. He is not the elected president of Nigeria. Not. Even when Boris Johnson tested positive, he still made a video to declare his status and assure residents and people of the United Kingdom that he will continue to lead the fight against the pandemic. But here, we have a president who has been said to have tested negative. Let me tell you, yesterday, I sat before the TV and I watched Sanwo-Olu as the governor of Lagos State, leading from the front. He was standing making an address. The commissioner for health was standing by. The commissioner for justice and attorney general was standing by. The questions that are beyond him as governor, which he does not have professional expertise to answer, he throws at them. That is leadership. What we expect to see is not the Minister of Health giving us briefing. The Minister of Health can, of course, issue press releases, give us updated record of confirmed cases and the likes, but at least on a weekly basis, if not on every 2 days or 3 days, the president should be able to stand. The Minister of Health standing beside him, the head, the head of chairman or whatever it's called of the National Center for Disease Control standing by. A few governors where we have prevalence of this pandemic standing by and telling us what is seen. Yeah. What we have been seeing is audio, which is the slang in town now, audio performance. You are telling us you released 10 billion. Anybody could have signed that.
And they made a mistake.
Anybody could have signed. What we want to see is the man that we elected as president. This is the time we want to see him identify with us. I don't have a problem with his health status. It's not so much of a problem to me. Whether some people say this, even if you see him in Ajegunle, that is not my problem. But the question is, if I have a president who is responsible to me as a citizen, I should see him talk to me about what is happening in the country to which I belong, and reassure me as a citizen that all is well. Every 2 days, Trump, as eccentric as we all believe he is, still addresses the press with his cabinet around him. So let nobody tell us that one Femi Adesina is telling us that I'm not concerned with the rumor. But we want to see the president that we elected and not the Femi Adesina who is holding forth.
I just want to throw that thing back to Mr. Ologun. Trump had been speaking every other day. Yes. And every other day, he had been saying something that is now making the whole world, especially Americans, put him to ridicule. Now, your own president, I'm not an acolyte of President Buhari, that's the truth. But I just try to be dispassionate about certain things and not want to crucify him all the time, even when he chooses to a style that is good enough for him. Look, if the man decides to keep quiet and the country is moving and information is moving out, even the only
The country
video
is not moving.
the only video that came out, okay, he said so many things, but because he called COVID 19 COVID
Spare him
19,
that, please.
it is only COVID 19 that we are hearing from people now.
That's
The
all-
essence
that's
of
the
the
only thing he
message,
said.
the essence of the message that the man put, nobody is talking about it. That is one. Then you also have to consider one thing. Let's face reality. Even the honorable minister of health, I know he's about 71, 72,
Yeah.
because I know he's an old boy of government college, and I know
Yes,
he's
yeah.
set in school. So he could even be slightly older than that, depending
Within
on
the-
his
within the-
age
yeah.
within his classmates. So even for him to be speaking and to be out at this time, it's a great danger to him. Not to talk of somebody like President Buhari, who had been predisposed ordinarily, to the knowledge of all of you, to a relatively less I don't know what language to use, but not the kind of health that is best for him at his age.
If he knows that, why
Is
did he
now
contest?
the same person?
Why did he contest?
No, you are the people that voted for
We
him.
didn't. I did not.
Well, but some people voted for him.
President, that's undebatable.
Listen, let me conclude what I'm saying.
Whether you voted for them or not.
Exactly. The man is president
of the
today.
Well, I know
He
he's
was
not.
able to acquire all the votes, whether by purchase or by
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
He is president today.
I support of
So
the
because
SDP.
he's president today, you cannot compare him to a 50-something-year-old Sanwo-Olu, who ordinarily
He
is
knows
by
this
any chance.
responsibility.
And Boris Johnson is also 50-something. Boris
50-something,
Johnson is
yes.
about 54, 55.
55, yeah.
I don't know the exact age of Sanwo-Olu, but it can't be more than 52, 53.
But Trump is
at the
72
most
or
54,
one.
55. And the same Trump that you said is, you could see his reaction when on a particular video clip, one lady in the clip said she was ill over the weekend. You could see the way Trump picked race, even in that
That was
video clip.
comical. That was
You know,
comical.
Okay,
Whether
gentlemen,
comical or not, what we
gentlemen,
are trying to say is it is
gentlemen,
the choice
If
of that
he
man.
knows that
Okay.
his head
Other
will not
than
carry
the
the
choice-
weight,
other
why
than
did he
video-
contest?
No.
Gentlemen,
The
gentlemen,
predisposition of
gentlemen,
that
hold on,
man,
please.
the predisposition of that
Gentlemen,
man
hold
to
on, please.
disease
Gentlemen, hold on,
should be
He knows-
enough to protect him.
He
Okay,
knows
thank
the
you.
enormity of this war.
Gentlemen, hold on, please. Now, let's move away from that to another thing. Now, people have been asking for economic stimulus. Yeah. If at the end of the day, we're going to have a total, shutdown, there should be a way. Some people have said that there should be a way that will compensates the people, put some palliatives in place, especially those who eke out a living, almost on a daily basis, because this is what other countries of the world are doing. And even the former vice president of this country, Atiku Abubakar, said, well, give 10,000 naira to each Nigerian. A lot of people have also said, well, even if you said this, does Nigeria have the financial capacity to actually do this, especially if you consider the fact that the price of crude has dropped? And even there is a possibility, according to the managing director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, that we might even shut down the production of crude oil because it's no longer profitable, as the way things are now. Now, if you look at different leaders of the world, the United States Senate passed a $2 trillion dollars phase 3 stimulus bill, which is to cushion the effect of the pandemic on the people. And if you also look at a country like France, that's the same thing the country is doing. The finance minister, they announced a $49 billion aid package, that includes several things: substantial social security tax cut, unemployment benefits for people forced to work part-time. Now, if you want people to stay at home, shouldn't you provide some stimulus for them? And even apart from that particular country, you also have some other countries too putting palliatives in place. But then the 10,000 naira as advocated by the former vice president, and and the palliatives that people are talking about, can Nigeria actually go through that particular route? Because when you look at our finances now, the fortunes are not really bright. Actor Tomigbon.
Well, the biggest problem we have towards that is not even actually whether the money is available or not. It's about how do you distribute it. Perhaps the best way, if it's going to be done, is to find out those that have accounts and have BVN, that's the best that we have thus far. And so it can be done. Honestly, it can be done. The figure, in fact, some people have said up to 250,000 naira per head will amount to a particular figure. I can't remember what that figure, and when I saw what that figure is, it wasn't really so staggering. No, it wasn't up to $1 trillion. We can even do the calculation now. But there's something I'm more afraid of, actually. It's whenever there's a pandemic in the world and virtually the whole world shuts down like this. The first time that happened was in the early 1900s. There was a bubonic plague about 1913, 14, 15. And shortly after, there was also the Spanish flu plague that went around the whole world. So naturally, by 1929, the world economy was down completely. And that went on for about 5, 6, 7 years, before countries started recovering. So I'm afraid there's going to be complete meltdown of the global economy in the next, beyond these 4 or 5 months that you are talking about palliatives. There's going to be a real serious, so we are going to have to be ingenious in how we are going to handle the economy to the extent that relative to the rest of the world. But let me also tell you something. I always say it, that whenever the world declares a casting down, some people will declare a lifting up. It is when there is recession that some people will make their own money. And just the same way, it is when there is a recession that some countries will launch out. In fact, China is already launching out again. Seriously. And so what are we doing in Nigeria? How are we making sure that we put intelligent people at the saddle of the business of running the economy to the extent that beyond the palliatives that we are talking about, that the economy will survive? We need to think seriously about that.
Okay, we go on a short break now. When we get back, we continue with this conversation. Don't go anywhere.
Oh yes, good people of State of Osun, listen attentively. The government of State of Osun is set to begin the enumeration and collections of land use charge all over the state. Our valuers will come and assess your property to determine what you are entitled to pay. It is once in a year payment. Land use charge is collected in all the states of the Federation. As soon as you get your demand notice, pay promptly. It is backed by law. His Excellency the Governor, State of Osun, has asked us to bring the fees to the barest minimum. Let us play our part for the development of State of Osun by paying our land use charge promptly. This message is brought to you by Osun Internet Revenue Service. Land use charge, pay for development.
Ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ tẹ́ ń dáko nígbó ọba tó wà yíká ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Government Reserve ti bẹ̀lẹ̀ dẹ́ kẹ́gbọ́ ìkéde pàtàkì yìí o. Ìjọba ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ fowókọsílẹ̀ iye àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó dáko láwọn igbó ọba láti lè mọ iye àwọn àgbẹ̀ àti láti lè pèsè tó péye fún yín. Bákan náà láti lè fún yín ní káàdì ìdánimọ̀ èyí ni ID card. Ọjọ́ Monday ọjọ́ 16 oṣù kẹta ní forúkọsílẹ̀ ìgbérasọ. Ọjọ́ Friday ọjọ́ 10 oṣù kẹrin ní pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ yóò pin lórí ìforúkọsílẹ̀ yìí. Wàyí o boko jìnnà ìlàkì kò ẹ kàn sí ẹ̀ka tó ń rí sí igbó ọba iléeṣẹ́ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àyíká Department of Forestry Ministry of Environment State of Osun láti lè lọ gba fọ́ọ̀mù tìyín. Awífóni kó tó dání agbàjàkadì ẹ̀yin àgbẹ̀ tẹ́ wà ní igbó ọba Sàsà Àgọ́òwú ọba Ìkejì Ìpẹ̀tù Ìlá Ẹdẹ àti igbó ọba tó wà ní Èjìgbò kékulé ó gbọ́ kó sọ fún tòkò. Àgbẹ̀ tó bá ń dáko lóko ọba tí kò bá lo àǹfààní ìforúkọsílẹ̀ yìí yóò pàdánù oko rẹ̀. Olùkéde ẹ̀ka tó ń rí sọ̀rọ̀ igbó ọba iléeṣẹ́ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àyíká nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun.
Ẹ̀yin olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun o, etí yín mélòó? Ẹ tẹ́tí gbọ́rọ̀ ìkìlọ̀ nípa àrùn aṣekúpani coronavirus tó ti di àrísá iná àkótágiri ejò káàkiri àgbáyé. Iléeṣẹ́ Rave 91.7 FM Òṣogbo ló ní kí gbogbo èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ó dẹ́kun fífi gbogbo ìgbà wà láàrin èrò láti dènà fífa atẹ́gùn ara wa símú, káyàgò fún bíbọwọ́, dídì mọ́ra ẹni gbàgè, ká máa lo ìbòmú àti ìbò ẹnu lóòrèkóòrè. Tá a bá fẹ́ sín tàbí wúkọ́, ó pọn dandan ká máa bo ẹnu, káyàgò fún bíbọwọ́ àti omi fọwọ́ wa lóòrèkóòrè tàbí lílo hand sanitizer déédéé. Tá a bá ti kẹ́fín kọ́wíwú, orí fífọ́ àbáàdì, sísín lásìnjù, mímọ́ rẹ ni wẹ̀sì àti ibà léraléra, káyà kàn sí àwọn elétò ìlera lọ́gán, ká sì máa gba àwọn elétò ìlera láàyè láti ṣe ìtọ́jú kòkòrò àrùn kòrónà kó má bàa di tọ́rọ́ fọ́nkálẹ̀. Ìmọ̀ràn yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ Rave 91.7 FM Òṣogbo.